Hello.
How are we? Welcome to SRS's Year in Review with myself, Andy, Samuel, and Justin. That's it.
Yeah.
Samuel
You're taking the
is
lead.
the guy that does nothing but does everything. Hey, when you tell me you're not going to do it and you get it done.
Yeah, I wear the hats.
Yeah, Sam wears the you're the elf
Sam
with the
on the
little
photo.
ears. Samuel, he's the head mechanic here, does the wiring, majority of the mechanic stuff. And you got Justin, the suspension and tyre guru, does all our setups, anything suspension, tyre related stuff. Also does the mechanic side of things as well, but any suspension setup on any car, Justin's the man. Me, I'm sort of the runaround, the second hand, the apprentice, the TA, the whatever, just whatever the boys need, I just sort of jump in and lend a hand where I can. That's pretty much just
It's true, but it's not at the same time.
I'm the driver of the cars. I drive BIGDEAL. I drive G up.
You break it, we fix it.
Exactly. I'll find the weak spots of things and hey boys, I need that fixed yesterday.
Quality control.
Yeah, it's quality control.
Yeah, broke it again.
Yeah, exactly. It's broken again. God damn it. Yeah. Anyway, year in review, guys. Big year for SRS.
Hot.
A lot of racing, a lot of events with G up, BIGDEAL. Yeah, but we suppose we could start back in January. And
It's probably a pretty good place to start.
well, I don't know.
Yeah, we had a pretty good year. Let's start in like April.
Well, like, you know, I'd say end of January to February was mainly getting cars ready for Matsuri. So we had Dynos, chasing S13 to get ready, G up obviously to get ready because that thing's always broken. Stitched up.
Very crazy
Yeah,
this year.
crazy
Stitched
match
up to
in
get
comparison
ready.
to the last couple of years because
Like-
Stitch Up was already pretty much going.
Yeah.
You chasing was just the supercharger belt setup, which is
Yeah.
easy in comparison. And then
And was fab front end.
and then your car was just
Another box.
a gearbox,
Yeah,
another gearbox.
Just another box.
Yeah, which I mean that's nothing in comparison. Like
No, that's easy.
22 Matsuris were like
when we had
3
8
whole
weeks to do
cars.
3 cars.
Yeah.
Was Jared stitched up S15. I don't know, I call it a dark blue, but other people might call it
It
purple.
depends what light's in. It's
Yeah,
purple
it's
and dark blue.
it has a colour on it, so it's nice.
Purpley blue.
Yeah.
In the dark, it's
Blue.
dark blue,
Black, nearly.
blackish. In the light, it's like a deep purple.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It's quite a nice colour.
It's not bad. Yeah, that one. And then you chasing is the massive metal wide body
S13.
S13. Dyno
Tube
owns
front,
that.
tube rear.
Yeah, tube
Well,
front,
will be
tube rear,
sorry,
everything.
next year. Big blower on it.
Yeah, Magnuson 2650.
Yeah.
Made 1,000 horsepower last time we had it on the dyno. I think it was like
2004 or something? Yeah,
it wasn't
something
much.
close to that, yeah.
But it did it.
Yeah.
So that counts. And then obviously G Up's the billet block RB28.
That red box.
That red box, yeah.
Hey, it's a nice looking shit
shit,
box.
I didn't
Yeah. The black Datsun that's behind us, I don't know if can the camera see it? That turned up, when did we get that about? March, February, something on it? So it's a LS blown methanol burnout ute. Customers bought that and had a bit of fun with it already. But yeah, had a little problem with the motor, so it's just out at the moment getting freshened up. So GRIFFO can keep blowing sets of tyres off it and just have fun with it. So
Probably more like you can start blowing sets of tyres.
yeah,
really
got a few
You
in.
did
But
do
Few
it.
sets in there.
We
but
haven't
yeah,
done an event with it yet though.
no. So hopefully this next year coming up, we'll try to get to a few power cruises, Fridays, any of the burnout stuff that's happening with that car. So yeah, so he's Carshop F-1 GTR 34.
Yeah.
When we put a new, was it just the turbo?
Yeah, we put a
G40 1100.
G40 1100 core inside of the HKS housing.
Yeah, just to give it a bit more response for him to drive around in.
But
Said
still-
the old turbo was a bit laggy, so we
But
put
still
a new-
keep it looking
Yeah, still have
like
that old period
Japanese,
correct.
JDME.
Yeah,
look.
period correct look about it.
Not
So.
the HKS, Grady.
Grady, yeah.
Grady housings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that car's super
And
nice.
the Motec in it as well.
Oh yeah, got the,
Because it's the
replaced
MFD.
Yeah, replace the factory MFD with the Maatouks C127 dash. We got John's S14 behind us. It's been in here, got it painted. It's got the Sam's pretty much wrapping up the wiring pretty soon with it. So I'll say early next year it'll be getting ready to go on the dyno and get tuned. And then it'll be heading off to get a cage put in it, and then the interior. Then we'll go to get the interior fully trimmed. It'll be full Alcantara suede. Probably have some custom stitching in it, like G up with the SRS logo stitching in it somewhere. So April got our four-wheel drive hub dyno from Maineline. Had that set up down in the Mort Street shop. We weren't really offering tunes out to the public or anything. It was just the cars we were working on for customers, getting in there and tuning those. It's handy to have our own. So you can spend as much time or as little time on there as you needed.
Yeah.
The four-wheel drive hub dyno is pretty cool. Bolting up EVOs and even the GTRs and doing all-wheel drive tunes on it's pretty cool.
Yeah, all drive stuff's really cool.
Yeah. So Andy's Evo is the blue Evo 9. That was one of the first four-wheel drive cars we put on there. All-wheel drive cars.
I think it was the first.
It was the first car.
We put it on
did
there.
we do GR first or?
Yeah, I mean,
it was the first all-wheel drive car. Yeah.
Because we wanted something just literally to test out
run
all-wheel
up on,
drive,
yeah.
just for fun.
So I think it. And
He wanted to know how much it made because he'd never had. So Andy's Evo is it a stroker? Right?
Yeah, it's a 2.2 Nitto.
2.2 Nitto stroker, 4G63. It's Evo 9. It's the blue Evo 9. There it is.
Yeah.
It's been built for a while now.
It's like 6 years or something.
It got tuned on a hub dyno.
Yeah.
Then it got turned up and put on a roller dyno, and they couldn't get like an accurate
I think
figure
it was
out of
getting a bit
it.
of wheel spin
So
or something, maybe.
he wanted to know how much power his car was actually making, and we wanted an all-wheel drive car to put on there.
Yeah.
He was always like, guys, like they said it
fast.
probably makes like 700. It's pretty fast. And we did run. It was like 750.
Yeah, 750 at 40 p.
Just like straight up as it
Yeah.
came off the street, bolted it up, and 750.
That's
So
sick.
he was all these years that he's been like, I think it makes like 700. I'm not really sure. I've never really.
Pretty close to it.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's been making it. So that
It's
car's
fast.
sick.
And then obviously we put G up straight on after it and went 1540 or something.
Yeah.
Something like that. Oh, the red S15 Griffo's build. Yep. So that was a car that we had sort of thing, and we were just going to build it up as a nice street car. And then as soon as we painted it red, Griffo saw it and said he wanted it straight away. So it's supporting the 2J package that we put together with it. We freshened it up a bit with rods. Was it rods?
Yeah, we put rods in it. So
rods,
it's a
rods
stock,
and new bearings,
yeah.
and then the head's got valve springs and cams in it that were already in it. Behind a Turbo 400, and when we first tuned that, it went 803, I think, on 30 psi.
32.
32,
32. Yeah.
which is pretty good. It's a fast little car. So yeah, they drove around with that for a while, and then started doing some roll racing with that car as well. And Griffo wanted a bit more power, so Stu kept turning it up, and then we checked the tune on it the other day, and it went 924 at 40 psi, I think. About 42 psi. Yeah, made 923, 924. So yeah, that car's been flawless.
Yeah, and I think that was the first R3. Well, it's still the only R3, but it was the R3s had only just come out too. The new
So we upgraded it
street
from the
version of the
Platinum Pro
R5 is the R3. Yeah. So that car was all together as it was with the Platinum Pro, had a Haltech Platinum Pro.
Yeah.
And
Cable
like
throttle
all
body
the
and stuff like that,
Defi gauges and cable throttle body and all that. Like it was pretty well modern
nice.
for the time that it was put together, but like everything had come so far since then. So that R3 was the first thing that I wired.
Yeah, we did the upgrade in, and we did the drop by wire pedal.
Yeah.
And then put an IC7 Haltech dash in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, all the Defi gauges pretty much got rid of them. And Sam wired all that in, and it was pretty good. So
The rest is history.
Yeah, rest is history. That car, the thing's love and life. So.
I don't think we revisited on that. Is like servicing.
Yeah.
The physical like package of the car is sick. Yeah. Haven't had to touch it.
No,
And diffs.
It
blows re diffs.
broke one diff.
And yeah, Juddy
The
said
GTR diff came with 4.1 gears on it, and then it was Clinty was just hitting the limiter too much with it, so we took the 3.7 diff gears off the old diff and put on the GTR one setup. So it's a Nismo 2-way, I think, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's Nismo 2-way in the back.
It's Eric's yellow Evo was pretty much ready to go together. It's an Evo 9 as well.
Yeah.
But as with most people that come in here and talk to you and Stu and see the stuff that you guys have and other stuff that we built, they come in and they're like, I want 500 horsepower. And we're like, sick, no worries. You want 500 horsepower? Easy as. Also, look at this.
Yeah.
Look
You
at
can
this
have
Evo.
that.
This blue Evo makes 750 and it's real. Like, you should drive it. It's sick. And then all of a sudden their goal of 500 horsepower, he's like, all right, I want exactly what's in the blue Evo.
Yeah.
And then obviously the blue Evo, Andy, he hears that and he's like, well, I can't get beaten by a yellow Evo, right?
Sounds a good back and forward.
So then Andy says, I want 1,000 horsepower, right, which is the blue Evo. And then Eric goes, well, that, I'm not going to let... So now he wants 800 in the yellow one.
Yeah, the yellow one should be 800, and
then he wants 1,500 in his other red one.
yeah.
So you get surrounded by nice things and you want nice things.
Yeah.
And it's like... especially
competition levels just keep rising.
Customers come in here and they're like, I just want like 500 horsepower street car.
Yeah.
And that's fine. People want that. But like, as soon as you start they start looking at what other people are doing and seeing all the nice things and they're like, oh, that's really nice. And you're like, yeah, it is really nice. You could have that.
Yeah.
Like, that's obtainable for you. All you got to do is buy it. Yeah. We'll put it on, you know. But like, it's not like you're trying to upsell people into things. Like, if you want 500 horsepower, we'll give you 500 horsepower.
Yeah.
But if
they always want more, but
you always want more. It's nobody's ever going to be satisfied with 500 horsepower. Exactly.
Yeah.
You drive 500 horsepower, all of a sudden you're going to want 800. It's Glenn. Glenn drives that red S15. He's like 800 horsepower. He's scared. Now he wants more. Way more. He wants more. You always want more. The Eric's Evo came in ready to go. Like, it was pretty much all it needed was like
check over,
put together, check a few things, and it could have been running. It could have been done. Then he was like, he's sort of like, what would you recommend? And everything's sort of come a little bit. Everything's kind of jumped up since he put that first together. So like turbos are better, ECUs are better, better manifolds, better everything. Like, so he's like, okay, I want all the nice things. So then you put all the nice things on there. You're like, well, you could make a bit more power now if you wanted to. Like, you've got all the nice stuff on it. And he's like, yeah, okay, let's do that. So then he decides, he's like, you know what? Let's go the whole thing. So now Eric's engine's out and being checked, which was lucky because it ended up not having, it got built elsewhere years and years ago, and ended up having no springs in the oil pump for the relief valve. So it would have just been relieving oil pressure. It would have had no oil pressure.
It would have built any oil pressure.
So, I mean, it works out, everything works out for a reason in the end, doesn't it? So technically we saved Eric's engine by making him make more power.
Exactly.
We've saved him money in the long run.
Exactly. At May, I think we got a new hoist and wheel alignment machine, tyre machine, balancer, all that. So it was easy for Juddy to do all the setups here in-house now. Juddy used to have his own shop in town. We used to have to take the cars to him, but now that we've got that next door, one stop, it's good. So we can go from one shed to the next door, and then it's easy as. So what do you reckon about that?
It's good.
It's good.
It's good. It's really I got room to move, mate. Yeah. I'd have been to the old shop. They know it was pretty crammed in there, so it's good to have updated technology and everything that was probably holding us back a fair bit. So now, and people always see G up out on the track and wonder how it's set up or who does it, and it's all in-house. So
big deal. All the cars.
We've been playing with them for a while and know what works and what doesn't. And
we've got it set up so we've had the lowest of low cars get up on it, no worries. Most cars we're going to be changing suspension, changing steering racks,
pretty much
arms, everything.
Every single car that we did needed.
So it's made sense to get it and utilise it here in-house with Juddy. So that's it's worked out well for it.
We do general tyres and stuff as well, not just the vehicles that we work on. So if you do have a JDM car or something a little bit special that you want someone to actually take care of, we know a guy.
Juddy is the guy. No, we know.
That's the guy.
That's the guy. So Jamie's S13, the silver one that's from down Sydney.
So Jamie's car came from Sydney. Jamie's from Sydney.
So it started back, Stu and Jamie were talking, probably talking for a couple of years, and when Jamie first put his 2630 into his car, been talking to Stuart had his in his S13, and they just couldn't figure out how to get it low enough so they didn't have to chop the bonnet up a lot. So Stu was like, I'll just send you the kit we used that we made up to lower it, and away you go. So that's how that happened. And then a couple of years later, Stu and Jamie still been talking, and then Jamie wanted his 2630 to be refreshed and wanted to make that 1,000 horsepower. So he wasn't too fussed about making anything more than 1,000.1. But we ended up doing a bottom end for him and freshened up his head. We did.
His head's same as Gio. Like we did.
We did new cam, shimless bucket setup in it, Supertech oversized valves.
So it's not just a refresh.
Well, sort of.
So it's a full solid conversion, solid head, cam,
tidy up the ports and that. So then the bottom end, it's a 3 litre RB30. We just put rods and pistons in it with a oil pump. Gasket, factory RB30 crank in it. Put a G45 1600 turbo on it, and it ended up making 1,040, I think, the first go round.
1,020. It just went 1,020 when it was still, it still had electric pumps. So that, like, the fueling was the limiting factor there. We just got over the 1,000 horsepower, which we were pumped about, which is sick. But the injectors, it had.
It's just, the fuel pressure was dropping a little bit, I think. So it only had 2 pumps, I think, so it was sort of on the upper limit of them. And Jamie, he's competitive with it as well. So brought Jamie's car back after the first roll, the State of Origin roll racing in about July, I think it was. And then we ended up doing a mechanical fuel pump conversion on it. And then we upgraded the injectors to the 2400cc Siemens injectors. And it made 1040.
1,043.
1,043 on 38, 40 pound, I think. So still plenty to go in that car, but Jamie's pumped with it.
He started getting faster at roll racing too, because we've been I mean, we haven't talked about it yet, but
with
Big Deal, we've been back to Sydney roll racing heaps. So we've been able to sort of work on the car with him at the track, and he's been getting faster and faster. He went pretty deep into eliminations the last round we were there. I think he only got knocked out by a Lambo, which is...
Nah, that was a Porsche.
Oh, was it the Porsche?
It was the Porsche.
Well, that Porsche, that's the 1300 horsepower Porsche.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad way to lose roll racing.
Yeah. So, Jamie's got big plans with that car for next year, so keep an eye on for that one. But yeah, it's a nice little car. It's 1,040 horsepower, turbo 400.
The competition in Brisbane isn't as...
Yeah.
It's not as exciting. The racing in Brisbane isn't exciting.
No.
If you win, like having been to Sydney, if you win in Brisbane, it's like, we won in Brisbane. But if you haven't won in Sydney, it's kind of like, it's like a false victory. Sort of.
I don't know, Sydney's just the competition, and as I think they have double the cars per
I think
thing as well.
That's what it is.
And so you've got like,
it's a lot harder. For every one fast car in Brisbane, there's 5 in Sydney.
Yeah. Like Justin's just good.
Yeah,
sweet, Justin. Cool. So anyway, that's Jamie's car. Maatouks Dyno Day, that's probably before that. So we ended up going down for the Maatouks Dyno Charity Day, which was in about May as well, I think. So we took G up and GRIFFO's S14 down for that one. We ended up putting G up on the dyno down there. It's got 2 settings in it at the moment. So one's about 80% gate, and then the other one's just 100% shut the gate. Put it on there. And when we did the first run, we didn't have the big tune in it, so I went 1300 on the dot. And then they were like, "Oh, what a bit of a G up." I'm like, "Oh, hey, nah, we'll put the big tune and turn it on the big tune. We'll go again." And then I think
they were already pretty excited.
Yeah, it's pretty pumped. It's still 1300 horsepower.
It's a Maatouks Dyno Day, and it's a car that's not built from Maatouks, putting out 1300 horsepower,
which is pretty sick. So then anyway, we put it on the big tune, and we made 1555. So that was pretty cool. Mitch, who was driving it, sort of thought it was going to roll over, so he got out of it earlier. I think he only went to about 9,500
RPM. The screen. He didn't set the screen high enough.
Yeah, so I don't think he was expecting it to make what it was going to make, and got out of it earlier. Could have had a bit more RPM. It could have gone. So, but 1555 is what it made, which is pretty cool. We ended up going for a bit of a street cruise in that night as well with the 15 and G up, and made a bit of a ruckus around on the road, which was pretty cool. It was a good trip down there, mixing it up with the Maatouks built cars. Maatouks probably he's the guy that's got the fastest RB in the world. So, as engine, with RB people, I look up to Maatouks. Yeah. One day, hopefully, we'll be as big as him, and maybe battling him for some records or something one day. So.
Yeah, I mean that's even like I said before. If you win roll racing in Brisbane, but you don't win in Sydney, it's kind of the same thing. If you win Sydney, but Maatouks isn't there.
Yeah. No, there's still good cars.
There's fast cars, but Maatouks.
I'll say he's the
RH7 is.
Yeah, he's the fastest RHM.
No, RH7 is the car to beat at Sydney roll racing.
RH7, RHM, the 2 cars you want to beat.
If you don't beat either of if either of those cars aren't there and you win, did you really win?
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, it's that or the Tony's Purple Lambo from Precision Racing. They're the 3 cars I think that are taking out majority of the Sydney rolls.
You got to meet all 3. You got to meet all 3 to get like the final. The final boss. You'll only have you get like half the trophy. It's like correct, you won.
Yeah, that's what people say. Oh, you only won because they weren't there or something.
Exactly. But, I think so. You still get to win, and it's still a big achievement. But
but you want to go against them all.
Yeah, you got to beat all the winners.
We want to go against all of them to gauge where we are with them.
Well, that's exactly. You don't want to win just to say you can win. You want to win to beat the fastest cars.
So that's what sort of inspired the build to then go back down to roll racing and try and have a competitive car for that. So Big Deal was thought about. So that all come about after the Maatouks Dyno Day, and then it was about 3 weeks, I think 3 and a bit weeks until the State of Origin roll racing in Sydney. So that's when we come together and we slapped that thing together in 3 weeks and got down there. So it's got a billet block it's a billet block, 26 billet block, but it's got a 3-litre stroker in it. It's bullets special combination, I guess I'd say. It's their custom 3-litre combination in a 26 deck height block. And we slapped that together. It's got a lot of PRP stuff in it. It's got PRP billet sump and all that, but it's got the Daly's pump on it. Yeah. PRP coils, PRP trigger kit. PRP worked a lot with us to help get that sorted in the 3-week time frame we had. It's got the PRP power glide conversion, bell housing and stuff on an adapter plate, all that sort of stuff. So they worked pretty hand in hand with us to try and get all that sorted.
Yeah, it's sort of we actually wanted a turbo 400 for it, but we couldn't get one in time, so we went with
had a power glide sitting in the shop.
And it's actually probably worked out
very
well for us. The car's fast.
Yeah. So anyway, we got 3 weeks, we got it done with help from PRP, Bullet, some parts we had laying around the shop. We went down for the State of Origin roll racing in Sydney. And not going to
win the biggest burning.
Yeah, not going to lie, we got waxed at that first event. We were all hyped up. You know, we got the car done in 3 weeks, and we were heading down there thinking, yeah, we've got a chance to win this. I reckon. No, we're a long way off on a lot of things, but you know, we learned from it. We come back after that, and we're like, okay, we know what we've got to do now. We fixed a lot of things that needed to be sorted out on. Like
converter was too tight, you couldn't get through the converter, so it just took half track to get going. Yeah, when you take the factory ECUs out of these things, you don't patch them back up properly. The factory Attessa system won't work, which the Attessa is the four-wheel drive system. So the problem was we didn't have the factory rear wheel speed sensors in there and working, so the computer wouldn't send more pressure to the transfer case. So we were rear wheel drive.
Essentially, yeah.
And it did a massive burn.
Yeah.
So
I got told to calm down.
Yeah, you got trouble. When we got back,
I can't really do much.
When we got back here, the R5 was out of outputs that I could use to control the hydraulic pressure unit. So it's basically a hydraulic pressure pump. So we put a PD16 in there as well. Yeah. So we had the R5 and the PD16, which unfortunately the PD16 is not really doing anything now because
that's just
all we needed was we just needed some
outputs.
25 amp outputs. So we've got that controlling the pump, and then we've got the ECU controlling the solenoids. And then we've got a closed loop system. So we've got a pressure sensor on there. So now we can control exactly how much pressure is going to the transfer case, all through the Haltech, which means we have complete tunability of the all-wheel drive. Whereas if you can do it with the factory computer by tricking it with a bunch of different TPS conversion boxes and stuff like that, which is what we tried to do in the first place, and it just didn't work for us. So we didn't want to talk to the stupid little computer that didn't want to talk back to us. Instead, we decided to talk to the stupid little Haltech, which loves to talk back to us. So put that in there. All-wheel drive was sick. And
we retuned it with a new converter. Yeah. And then, a new nitrous strategy, obviously, for it as well. And then the next event, we were straight back down. It was like 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, I think it was. So
I think that was the one I wasn't here.
Yeah, that's you were. You were having a holiday. Yeah. So you left us alone, and then this is what happened. So Sam wasn't here, so anyway, we went back down here. We retuned it, new converter, and we're like, yep, sweet. We're dialed. We had a few test runs on the highway and stuff, and it felt faster. We're like, sweet, we're going back down. I think we'll be a lot more competitive. First pass, spun a little bit. And then, lifted the head, busted the radiator. Wasn't good, so one pass back on the trailer and we came home. And then, pulled it apart, figured out what went wrong, knew the gasket got let go. So we ended up changing to a firing gasket then, copper gasket, fixed up the head a bit, tidied up the port job a little bit more. We put new cams in it after that. All the valves and that were all good, so we put it back together. Went back down again. 3 weeks later or 4 weeks later, the car was fast. We started getting it out of the hole nicely. Everything was working well. We did we did 3 passes and they were good passes. And then we were going out for the 4th one. And as I was waiting in line, guys ran up behind me and said, shut it down. I've got fuel pissing out everywhere out the back. So that sort of ruined that one. When we got it back into the pits, looked over it and realised that the surge tank had split along one of the welds. So that sort of called that one out. 3-4 weeks later again, we fixed the problem we had with the surge tank, the Brisbane roll racing. So we went there for the first time, and then I probably did about 7 or 8 passes, I think, that night. And car was fast, couldn't fault it that night, I guess. And then just before eliminations, it started developing a little bit of a miss. And we noticed
at the time we thought was
the fuel pressure was dropping a bit, like it was surging a bit.
Because we took the big fabricated surge tank out, and we put in like a prefabbed Raceworks one, and when it started to get a little misfire, we were looking at the fuel pressure, and the fuel pressure was tapering off and spiking. So we thought that it was draining that surge tank because it was only like 2.5 litres or something. Yeah, and we had like an 8 litre on it before. Which then we put the other one back in, the bigger surge tank. I think we put it on the dyno. It was fine. Yeah, so we checked it. Everything was fine on the dyno. Took it to Sydney. Exact same problem. 3 passes maybe, and then the same miss came back. We're like, I wonder what that is. So we ended up we'll put some new plugs in it. Changed the plugs, did a pass. Perfect again. I'm like, well, sweet, maybe it was just the plugs. So they did a couple more passes, and then we got into the eliminations. This one for Sydney, and I think we got the first pass we did for eliminations. I had the missiles there. I was like, we're going to go for it anyway. Second pass, we came up against a Precision GTR 35.
we knew it was a big race. So yeah, went against it, missing pretty bad. Still got the win for it though. Third round was a R33, same thing. Miss was getting worse, but yeah, we got the win for that one. And then fourth round of eliminations was that was probably like down to the top 10, I think then. And yeah, the car sort of jumped me and the light never went green, so I sort of backed out of it. And then after that, yeah, it's just had a bad miss, and so I'm like, oh well, that's the night done, I think. So looked at it, pulled the head off, and noticed we had a hole in one of the valves, so we fixed up that issue, put it back on. A few weeks later, back down to Sydney again, and same thing. Car was fast, but we only got 2 passes this time, and then until we had a hole in the exhaust port and cracked in between the valves on an exhaust side, so sort of.
Ross said that the seats in the head looked a little bit, they were cut too deep into the head, and they also looked a bit small to support what we were trying to do with it. So we cut them out, put way bigger valve seats in it, and then put it all back together, and then we went racing again, and then it's cracked the entire exhaust board. So that makes you pretty much believe that the casting of the head is no good. And the first time that it shifted the valve seats was just because of that casting moving, essentially, like moving around and letting everything, like when you think you got 10,000 RPM and 50 pound of boost in a car, the amount of force, 63, 63 pound of boost in a car, the amount of forces and sort of vibrations going through that head, if you don't have a good casting, it's going to let everything move. Yeah. So
we've got a new casting.
Yeah, brand new casting for the head.
Got a whole new valve train for it. Yeah, we're just gonna. It'll be completely our spec head now.
Yeah. Start from ground zero and go from there.
So new head for BIGDEAL.
We're only losing to ourselves at the moment, or losing to parts. So old parts.
So we had Dave Supra in here. It's the green Mark IV Supra. So we did a HGT sequential install and the bolt-in 9-inch rear.
Strange rear end.
Yeah, strange rear end with the new drive shafts and that as well.
They were some thick shafts.
They were thick boys. They were thick boys. Yeah. So you did most of that one, didn't you, Jody?
Yeah.
It's Phil. How'd it go?
That was good. It was a very bolt-in kit that they supplied. So it was a couple of little dramas that you come across with them, but yeah, it was pretty smooth sailing through it. So
that thing makes what, 1,100, 1,200? 1,100 something. So we didn't tune that car.
1,100 horsepower to be confirmed.
Yeah, to be confirmed
by the Maineline AWD Dyno.
Yes. Now, Bryan's GTR was back in. After the first time we did it, it just had the factory 26 in it with a new turbo and a head gasket and head studs. He ended up spinning a bearing in it, so he wanted to upgrade, go to the 3 litre. It was Nitto pistons, rods and pistons for it as well.
Nitto 30, same as Jamie.
Yeah, RB30. It's pretty much the same as Jamie's S13 motor. So yeah, the RB30, cast block, Nitto rods, Nitto pistons, Nitto head gasket, some cam upgrades in it as well, and some valve springs, I believe, by factory. We did, Sam's just fact checking something crazy for us.
Did you find it? You gave up? Offline.
Yeah, we got that in and got that done in 4 or 5 weeks, I think it was, something like that anyway. We ended up tuning it and it made 820.
Yeah.
And then, so Bryan ended up getting a PPG gear set for his gearbox as well, straight cut gear set. So he wanted to try and do a few roll racings with it, fun with it. And then ended up breaking a transfer case on it. The transfer input shaft or something, I think, from the transfer case. Yeah, transfer case. And then, fixed that one, drove around for a bit more, and again, had a transfer case issue. So I think he's still waiting to try and upgrade do something with the transfer case to upgrade to keep that thing going. So Matsuri, early October, Matsuri. We had Jared was stitched up there again. We had Damo with you chasing. G-Up was there again. So yeah, again, leading up to the Matsuri 6 to 8 weeks beforehand, usually getting these cars back in to get them prepped up. I think G-Up again was a box getting fixed before Matsuri. Damo with you chasing, I think I changed over the belt setup for Damo. He wanted to make more power. Jared was stitched up, we got it in. I think we just did a service on it and a check over. It was good to go. We all had a pretty good time at Matsuri. I think I got 1 day out of my gearbox and then I broke it Saturday night. Damo, I think got a few laps in, and then I think he blew a head gasket. We haven't pulled that apart yet, so that'll be one of the first jobs we're doing for next year, to dig into that and get him ready. He wants to do a lot of competitions next year with his car, so we're going to be getting that dialed in for there. Jared had a pretty good run from Matsuri. I think he did a few laps on Saturday, or was he even there Saturday? I think he might have had a family thing on Saturday, so he was there for a couple laps Saturday. Sunday he had a good time as well. All these tyres he brought out, so it was hot. Standard Matsuri, it was warm. Yeah, we all had a pretty good time. Even though I hurt my gearbox and G up on the Saturday night, I still had a good time. Pretty much went through all the tyres I had there, so I wasn't complaining. G up got a new box after Matsuri. We got the RTS 6XD box in it. It's supposed to be these knees of gears boxes, the Rolls Royces. So the Mac Quantum.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully I've had one test for QR Christmas Bash. Gearbox felt fine, great. So yeah, it's ready to go for next year. Hopefully we won't have too many issues with this box. This year we started SRS Auto Parts, so we've got our online website now. Any parts you need, we can get on there and get stuff from that. We will hopefully next year have a shop front as well. We'll be having parts in stock. You can come visit us in Toowoomba if you want, have a look at the shop. But yeah, for now, you can jump on the website. There'll be a link down in the description or something. Yeah, you know, merch, any sort of parts you need for us. If we don't have it on the website, just give us a call or a message. I'm sure we can take care of it for you. Yeah, so we've got also the SRS Auto Glass was another thing we started. That was this year, wasn't it? Yep. We've got a van in Toowoomba, so if you're in Toowoomba area, you've got a crack or a chip in your windscreen, make sure you hit up SRS Auto Glass.
Ask for Dave.
Ask for Dave. Dave.
Yeah, you get 5% off if you ask for Dave.
Yeah, 5% off if you ask for Davey. But yeah, so we had Nakaya-san, who does the RWB Porsche builds. We hosted 2 of those here at our Mort Street shop this year in November. Privileged enough to be asked to hold those, which was pretty cool. So Himi, one of our good customers, was getting a 997 build, and another guy from America was getting one built as well. So he flew over with his mum to watch him get built here, which was a pretty cool experience. If you haven't watched the videos, go back and watch them. If you don't know RWB, watch the videos and you'll figure it out. But yeah, he pretty much designs his own body kits for certain models of the Porsches, and then yeah, comes and fits them, gives you some wheels to pick from. Big wide body.
Make it sound real. Like when you say it like that, it sounds really like.
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't know how
you gotta know. You kind of have to know the law of like.
Yeah.
Not law is in LAW, law is in LORD.
Yeah.
The law of RWB to like get it.
Yeah, like.
I mean, when you just explain it like that, it makes
some of it out. Yeah, try. Yeah. Just go and watch RWB videos.
Yeah. If you look up RWB, you'll understand.
We had
it's
the
like
privilege
a whole thing. It's
we had a privilege of hosting 2 of them. So
it's not just he makes a body kit and lets you pick some wheels.
Yeah, well,
it's some big wheels.
It's his own custom body kit that he's designed. So, and yeah, if you buy his body kit, he has to fit it. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't buy a body kit and fit it yourself. It's like that's part of the RWB thing. I think he's booked out for 2 years in advance, so it's very exclusive sort of things that happens with the Porsches.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, check out RWB. Check out the videos we've got on it.
Merch bag there. So essentially, like someone needs to say don't.
So make sure you like, comment, subscribe. That's wrapping up the year in review with SRS with Sam, myself, Andy, and Justin. We have a merch pack down here that we're gonna.
Want a hat?
Yeah, can I have some socks?
You can have some socks.
Brand new hat. Never seen these yet.
Oh yeah, trucker caps.
Trucker caps, yeah. So
Got a smelly car? We got you covered.
if you want a hat, it's on the website. Jump on. You know, plenty of merch on there. But yeah, I think we'll draw the winner in the new year with a random.
Tell them how they enter.
Yeah, I was getting there, guys. I said we'll draw it in the new year with we'll pick a random comment. So, like I said, like, comment, subscribe. We'll pick a random comment from the comment section, and yeah, we'll notify you in the new year. And this lovely merch pack that Justin's thrown on the ground could be yours.
You can have all of it.
You
can have one of each of these.
You won't have this one because it's on the floor, but we'll give you a nice one. We'll package it nicely and stuff.
There we go.
But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and one of you lucky viewers could take home a merch pack.
Wow.
Merch pack.
Wow, merch pack. Wow.
Cool. Thank you.
Cool.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. See you in the
Merry
next
Christmas.
year.
No,
Coming.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.